Shalom. Call Haloyam La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachar Kodash. Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai, Brakatah Rachar Kodash, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachar Kodash. Shalom and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elder bishops and the elders and the Akim and the Akwath of the Hope of the Elect. Shalom. Just want to go into a quick video. Today is that degenerate day, that Satanist day that they called Thanksgiving. So title of this video is now it's happy Thankstealin. So let's go ahead and grab some precepts. Everyone's celebrating this day. This country's on autopilot. Most people understand that this is a commemoration of the destruction of the Northern Kingdom, the lost 10 tribes, which are the so-called Native American Indians and the so-called Latinos, Hispanics. They're the lost 10 tribes of Israel, and the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians makes up the lost 12 tribes of Israel. So we'll go ahead and grab some precepts. These are really milk scriptures, that you should learn and understand, be able to comprehend, even if you just awaken to the truth or heard these for the first time. It's very applicable and, plausible, applicable, and very easily to be comprehended when you read them. It just makes sense, a cause and effect. Genesis 49 and verse 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him. And what troop is that talking about? The pilgrims overcoming Gad, the Native American Indians, so-called. That's the tribe of Gad. And Reuben, the tribe, the Seminole Indians. Also it represents all of the 10 tribes too, because, of course, the so-called Latinos and, Puerto Ricans and all of them over there, so-called the Latin tribes, so-called Latin, so-called Hispanic tribes and the Native American Indian tribes, the lost 10 tribes. The Most High say, prophesied right here that a troop shall overcome him. And this happened, this happened thousands of years later. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last, because no troops overcame Gad, when they was in the Holy Land, except for when they, when the Most High uprooted the Northern Kingdom by the Assyrians, right? But he shall overcome at the last. What does that mean? That he's going to win in the end. Right now, we're losing up front. That's why you don't mortgage your future for on the losing side here. You mortgage your present on the losing side. Lose your life for the Messiah, for the name of Yahweh Shai. For Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, right? In the name of Yahweh Shai. To gain, because this is all temporary suffering, for permanent win, for the win that's going to bring permanent peace under our King Yahweh Shai when he returns. So we're getting a victory started. The beginning of the victory begins by coming back into the knowledge and understanding of who we are as the Israelites, and returning and repenting from our wickedness, from the darkness of Satan that's pushed by the so-called white race, right? And we repent, rehearse the righteous acts, keep the commandments to the best of our abilities, and stay in the light and walk down that straight and narrow path until the day of Yahweh Shai's return. So this was the prophecy, and that's how they got this was basically Thanksgiving being explained, being the prophecy of the Thanksgiving is the fruits of the troops, the pilgrims overcoming Gad, Native American Indians and the Latino Hispanic tribes, the Northern Kingdom. See, because that was temporary punishment, and then the Most High is going to have his infinite mercy. Is going to allow the Israelites to overcome at our last end. And this is all for the whole entire 12 tribes of Israel, the whole entire nation, the northern and southern kingdom. So now we'll go to Micah chapter 2 and verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence. And we know that the so-called white man, he covets fields. That means he covets other people's nations, other people's land. He go in, he creates an excuse to go in and destroy a nation, and through his media, his lies, he speak great things through his media to slander at people, to act like they're justified in going into someone else's land. But what it's all about is taking their resources and their money and forcing the petrodollar upon them, making them to concede their nation's currency and adopt and take on their currency, to buy everything in their currency, right? And force them through their military might, the dragon, the modern day Roman Empire, the America, the whore Babylon the Great. And they covet people's fields because they don't. The Most High told them when he tilled the land that it shall not yield its strength unto Esau, but that the Most High gave that prophecy to Cain because Cain is the grandfather of the Edomites. The same spirit that's in Cain is in Esau, Edom, the father of the Edomites, so-called white race, or the Edomites. And they covet fields and take them by violence. And they took America chiefly, by violence against the Northern Kingdom Israelites, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house. And how they do that? By setting up puppet leaders, puppet administrations of the other heathen nations that listen and does what the so-called white man tell them. And chiefly the bankers, the Illuminati, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, and those that run the earth through the banking system. Even a man and his heritage. So chiefly the Israelites, we're oppressed. We had our fields taken over there in Jerusalem too, the little hats over there in our land. And then there's even a sect, a portion of our people over there that lives over there, and I think it's called the Mona of so-called blacks. They know that they're Israelites, and they migrated over there, and they're oppressed heavily over there by the little hats. And we're oppressed over here as well, in the land that we had naturally, that we rightfully had, had taken over here, because no man dwelt over here before so-called Latinos, Native American Indians sailed over here and took this land and claimed a stake on this land, because no man dwelt here before that. And we're oppressed. And then, of course, he stole away the Southern Kingdom, so-called blacks and so-called Jamaicans and Haitians, and forced us to build up their nation over here, Babylon the Great. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. He be coveting everybody else's land. And this is one trait and characteristic that fits only one nation. That's the so-called white man, the so-called white race. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine. And what wine is that? Not literal wine, but that's spiritual wine, false philosophies and false doctrines, false religions. He is a proud man, and he's the most proud man upon the earth. The Most High calls him the most, "O thou most proud." I believe it's in Jeremiah chapter 50 or 51 or 49, one of those chapters, I believe. Neither keepeth at home, and that's how he covets fields. And when he covet them, he does what? Leave his borders and go into other people's borders. He's the true immigrant. He's the only immigrant in scriptures. The Most High said in I think Genesis chapter 4, in verse 12, I think it says, if my memory serves me correctly, a fugitive and a vagabond thou shalt be in the earth, because he covet fields and he doesn't keep at home, as we just read right here. And a fugitive is one that escapes justice and judgment, proper righteous judgment, right? And then he's a vagabond, because a vagabond is one without a home, because everywhere he's at, that's not his home. That's not his original homeland. It's the caves. Petra. 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 That's the ancient homeland of the Edomites. That's why they go about. They were known, very well known, very commonly known back in the day as Caucasian, which means, I believe cave dweller, if I'm not mistaken, Caucasian, because they come from the Caucasus Mountains, Caucasian. Caucasus Mountains in Mount Russia, Georgia, I believe. Yeah, you do the research on that. Let's see. He is a proud man, it's like it neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. And hell and death are one and the same, and is as death, because we know the wages of sin is death, and he only desires sin, saying the laws are done away with in his wicked Christianity that he implemented. So where the law is removed and you're not keeping the law, you dwelling in the flesh, that's you living, you will have sure, hell and death. And hell, going to, death, and then also the hellfire, the thermonuclear fire, and then the chariot laser beam fire. Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, because death is always killing, and it never has death stopped. No, death is waiting for everyone, because it can never have enough, and he can't have enough as well. He cannot have enough of wickedness and ill-gotten gains, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations. And so he gathered all nations over here in Babylon the Great. And he affectionately referenced this nation as a great melting pot, as if that's a good thing. This is Babylon all over again, because when everyone comes together, wickedness proceeds forth. That's why the Most High divided the nations at the Tower of Babel. And is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. The great melting pot, Babylon the Great, great confusion, the city of great confusion. And we know that America is a conglomerate of, of a ton of cities and states. So Deuteronomy 32 and verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance. So that lets you know that, we're supposed to be in our own divided, separate land masses. When he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds, he set the boundaries of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. So Israel gets the chief portion of land, that land that floweth with milk and honey, Jerusalem, right? The city of peace. And then all the other nations get their lots and portions around them. And then, we have our neighboring Gentile heathen nations. But Esau, he doesn't stay in the land that the Most High originally divided into them. He goes in everywhere, all the nations you go into, you always see the Edomite, the so-called white man, because he keepeth not at home. Covered the fields and taken them by violence. Revelation 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. I mean, if you have understanding, go ahead and listen up. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So who led the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians into captivity? The so-called white man. And it says, shall go into captivity. So he led into captivity. That's him overcoming. That's that troop overcoming us, right? But then we're going to overcome at the last, because he's going to go into captivity. That's that right. That's that balance. The Most High say a false balance is an abomination. So it would be a false balance for the so-called white man to not go into captivity for leading us into captivity. Cause and effect. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, and he killed us with the sword by taking this, taking our Northern Kingdom brothers' rightful land. And then he led us into captivity, the Southern Kingdom, and to come over, brought us into slavery, and slaughtered us as well, with the sword, a great amount as well, and forced us into captivity and slavery and servitude, and to build this country and this nation. So he shall be killed with the sword. And must be killed, not shall. He must be killed. He has to be, because that's what he did. Shed blood, innocent blood. Shed blood wickedly. Because he went way too far beyond proper measure. Because it was basically a chastening from the Most High, because we went off. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So it's our patience, meaning our long suffering. Patience goes into suffering. And the faith, and our faith, the faith of the saints. The only saints are the Israelites. The Israelites. So Psalms 50 and 5, I believe. One of the multiple verses, that breaks down the saints being the Israelites. Because the covenant, the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High is that which sanctifies us. We're the saints, the Israelites. No other nation. Jeremiah 50 and verse 33. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, the Most High Power of hosts. Bahashem Yahushai, the children of Israel and the children of Judah, see, that's the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, were oppressed together. You see, the only other time the 12 tribes were oppressed together was in ancient Egypt, right, under Pharaoh, in the days of Moses, right? And so we didn't go by Israel and Judah at that time. We went by the children of Israel. So it's his buzzwords right here. This is the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. We were oppressed together again only because the northern kingdom left out and went to captivity under the Assyrians first. They left out. They got kicked out of the land by the Most High first and went into captivity under the Assyrians. And then a couple hundred years later, Judah, the southern kingdom, got taken down by the Babylonians and got kicked out the land of the southern kingdom over in Jerusalem, right? Under the Babylonians. So we went to captivity again after ancient Egypt, but we went into separate captivities. So we were oppressed alone as the southern kingdom, and the northern kingdom was oppressed by the Assyrians first over there alone, under the Assyrians, and then later the southern kingdom, Judah, was oppressed alone under the Babylonians, under Nebuchadnezzar, right? So now in the future, this is a future end time where the children of Israel, the northern kingdom, and the children of Judah, the southern kingdom, were oppressed together. And that's over here in Babylon the Great in America, so-called Black Latino Native American Indians. And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. So we were led into captivity by the so-called white man. The pilgrims turned out of the white race that they created a term. Only two nations on the earth go by crayon colors, black and white. Where's the other colors at, right? That show you that this is one big massive joke of a game, that the greatest hoax in the history of mankind. Chiefly, the greatest lie and hoax was the greatest identity theft of all time of the Jews having their nationality taken, and people calling themselves Ish at the end of it now, the little hats. And they refuse to let us go over here in the Americas and throughout the four corners that we're scattered. The four corners of the earth that we're scattered, they refuse to let us go, and that's biblical prophecy. It's not right for us to just be eternally, for a nation to have another nation eternally in their hands and ruling over them and killing them in the streets and holding themselves not guilty. Zechariah 11 and 5. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And that's a prophecy. That's why they won't let us go, because of this prophecy right here. Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. And then where Egypt goes into bondage, slavery. And that's Exodus 22. Let me go and get that real quick. Exodus 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord Yahweh, thy power, Bahashem Yahushai, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So Egypt means bondage. So the Most High is going to bring us into bondage again with ships. And the Lord Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, shall bring thee into Egypt again, into bondage again with ships. And did Moses lead the people on a ship away from ancient Egypt, or did he walk? Then they walked across the Red Sea, right? That was parted. Then they walked through the wilderness for 40 years, and then they ended up, the Most High finally had mercy, and because that was the wicked generation that had to die off during that 40 years, and let that generation after them go and inherit the land. So we were on foot the whole time. We didn't go. We didn't need to. You don't need ships because Egypt and Israel is on the same tectonic plate. So you don't need to. You don't need a ship. You can just walk. It's a nice little journey, but you can. It was a walk. We didn't need a ship. We left out of Egypt on foot and went to Israel on foot, not ships. So this is a future prophecy. This is a future Egypt, a future bondage, a future slavery, which is America, or Babylon the Great. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen, that means slave men and slave women and bondwomen. And see, our enemies, we're going to be sold to our enemies. So our people are lost and don't understand that these people are our enemies. They know that they're our enemies and that we're their enemies. But our people are lost sheep. Like a sheep is very gullible and very naive and simple. That's why they have to have a shepherd to guide them. The good shepherd, Yahweh. And he taught his men, the men of the Lord, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, to teach the word to, as the Messiah said, the sheep hear my voice. My sheep hear my voice. So if you're not listening, if you can't comprehend this, then you're not hearing, you're not of the fold of the 1/3 elect. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, not friends, as our people want to try to say the so-called white man. That's a good slave mentality. Unto your enemies for the bondmen and bondwomen, slave men, slave women, and no man shall buy you. That's the point. And that word means to redeem. Let's go ahead and get it. Oh, slacky, hold on. No man shall buy you. It's an old English word. To get, acquire, create, buy, possess. See, of Yahweh originating, creating, redeeming his people. So no man shall redeem. Only the Most High is going to redeem us. So people coming and think all these false leaders, false prophets over the years, like the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X's and Marcus Garvey's, the Black Panther Party leader, forget his name. Al Sharptons and the Jesse Jacksons and them. And now the lowest level false prophets in these end days, the Umar Johnsons and the Charleston Whites, these wicked, emotional ninjas. These they're not going to save anything. All they do is run their mouth within the system that they're oppressed under. They're not going to lead anything, but just lead to destruction. And no man shall buy you. Only the Most High is going to redeem us and buy us. He bought us He purchased us with the blood of Yahweh, his only begotten Son. But the redemption date, the redeeming date will be for a later time. We were already bought by the blood of Yahweh, but it's a delayed pickup date, and it's coming in these last times, the end days, after these last end days prophecies come to pass with the mark of the beast and the trials and tribulation of that short period. It won't be an extremely long period, but it's going to be a period of time that's going to try every man on the earth, and we must overcome that last test and be beamed up in a so-called UFO, a chariot, a cloud, the same way Yahweh a cloud received them, right? In the book of Acts chapter 1, you can go and read that account. He left on a ship, an aerial ship, a so-called UFO, cloud. He got received by a cloud. A literal cloud didn't get him. It was a so-called UFO, a chariot. The chariots cloaked themselves in the clouds, and that's why there's accounts where you can go to TikTok and YouTube. You can see people have images. They record or take a picture of a cloud that looks unnatural, and then it's a cloud. It's a so-called UFO, a chariot cloaking itself in the cloud. Let's see. From there we'll go to Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city, that's America, Babylon the Great chiefly. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. America is Babylon the Great, and this is the glory of kingdoms. All of the worst, all of the great evil heathen nations that rule for a season. America is a great combination of all of those, even Nineveh, because Nineveh represented the northern kingdoms, the lost 10 tribes oppression. That's when they were oppressed under Nineveh is the capital city of Assyria. Let me just get that right quick. Nineveh. See, Nineveh, abode of Nineveh, and it was founded by in the old ancient times. It was found in ancient Babylon, ancient Babylon, original Babylon, the Tower of Babel era with Nimrod. It was founded by Nimrod, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it was founded by Nimrod. So Nineveh, capital of the ancient kingdom of Assyria, located on the east bank of the Tigris River. So, in north of Babylon, right there. So that was where the northern kingdom was at. And America is a version of Nineveh as well. So the prey departeth not. That goes into what? No man shall buy you. No man's going to redeem us. The prey. Who is the prey? The so-called Blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, the lost 12 tribes of Israel. They're the prey that departeth not. They're in captivity until this day. We're in captivity until this day. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. And how was America built? With blood of the Native American Indians and Latinos, so-called. And so-called Latinos, so-called Native American Indians, and then what? Used the Southern Kingdom, so-called blacks, so-called Jamaicans, West Indians, so-called West Indians over there in the Caribbeans, so-called Haitians, tribal Levi, built up this country on the blood. You know what I'm saying? Had forced us to build on the blood-soaked land of America that they slaughtered for, right? So woe means destruction. Destruction to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity. And iniquity means sin. This whole construction of America, aka Babylon the Great, is all established by blood and lies and sin. Not in righteousness the way that the Israelites, the Most High, gifted us the nation, the land of Canaan, which was our land to begin with. They were just there for a season, and the Most High went ahead and kicked them on out of there to give us the promised land that He promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. You remember what happened when the pilgrims they act like they were being kind and gentle and loving, and exchanged those blankets with them, and they was exchanging, right? Esau, the snake, the serpent from the garden, he had those blankets were riddled with disease. I believe it was malaria, and if I'm not mistaken, and it killed off a good amount of the natives, our Northern Kingdom brethren. And he waged war when we were only at peace with them. Our Northern Kingdom brothers were at peace and was kind and loving. They're sincere and genuine and pure, and with a pure mind, showing these filthy pilgrims love. And because the Native American Indians, so the Northern Kingdom, they taught the pilgrims how to survive the winter and everything, and then they just straight up, and then the so-called white man learned up some things, and then the serpent, he rose up, and when he felt he was good and ready to go ahead and take over the lands, because he got taught up enough by the Northern Kingdom, he did what? He act like he disguised his war as peace, and then had disease all in those blankets that he gave them, and it killed a good amount of them. It's a very low level. It's a scoundrel, the base man of the earth, the most vile man on the earth. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, and he did what? The peace treaties, that he broke all of those peace treaties with the Native American Indians. And now he called it Thanksgiving. It's Thankskilling, Thankstealin. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. So he got all this by deceit and unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches, and they're gotten by deceit. So now he's on borrowed time, and it's only a matter of time until it transitions out of it, translated from his hands back to the righteous seed, the righteous bloodline, the sons of God, the sons of Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, the Israelites. Verse 9, why is earth and ashes proud? We know the most proud base man is the so-called white race, right? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. And we know the most covetous, he covet fields, and he take them by violence. The so-called white race, they did that. And they continuously always coveting other nations' resources. For such an one setteth his own soul to sell, because he's going to be destroyed. Because he don't care about his latter end. All he care about is momentary gain, just like that's the same characteristic of Esau. It traces back to Esau. He sold his soul. He sold his birthright. What? For one single meal, one solitary meal, one single meal, right? So his eternal birthright blessing, but it was meant for the Israelites, for Jacob to receive that. That's just the way the Most High had it play out, and it flows with the scriptures, very well. Right here, he cast his own soul to sell. He sold his birthright. Because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. He doesn't have any integrity at all. So we get Numbers chapter 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. And we know wherever Esau goes, he defiles the land, and he soaks the land with blood. Chiefly over here in Babylon the Great, when he took the North American Indians, Latinos, Native American Indians, and called it what? Thanksgiving. For blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein. That means what? That this land is still polluted right now. And how is it going to get cleansed? But by the blood of him that shed it. The only way this land that's defiled to this day, right now, today, Thanksgiving, 2024, the land is still polluted right now. So the only way it's going to get cleansed, they say forget about slavery was in the past. Tell that to the Most High. That says that the Most High is not forgetting about the past. He requires that in the present, that which is past. And the past wickedness has not been atoned for. So this land can only be cleansed by the blood of him that shed the blood that defile the land. So that's the so-called white race must cleanse this land with their blood. That's what the Most High just said, not I. Isaiah 40 and verse 8. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the word of our power Yahweh and the name Yahweh Shai shall stand forever. So these are the words of the Most High that I just read in the Spirit, in the name of Yahweh Shai. And his word is going to stand. That word stands forever, because why? Malachi 3 and 6, he changed not. So the land, the Most High said in the Bible, it is written, for it is written. So it's written in stone. It was originally written in stone on the stone tablets that the Most High gave Moses, right? So it's of a certainty it must come to pass, and so it will come to pass, because the Most High said it. And this they can celebrate it all they want to now, but there is a horrible end at the end of this celebration of wickedness. So with that being said, hope this video was edifying. The waters of the Hakudash Basham. Yahweh Shai for another video. Until the next video, I say, Shalom.